All good, man. I mean,
Welcome to episode 19. Duncan Wayne from Twitter.
what's
Uh,
going on, brother?
Sorry for doxing you there.
No, it's all good. Like I said, I mean, I think I've doxed myself once or twice. Like both myself and Nate are both kind of open about who we are. What's
Yeah,
the worst that they're gonna do? Come get me? Like,
exactly. What's the worst that could happen? You're just, I have no idea. I dox the shit out of myself. That's
yeah.
just,
And hey, if you want to keep who you are private, like that's up to you. But I mean, that's not exactly for me. But there's definitely there's like a whole personality thing that comes with a name that people kind of associate with you, that kind of brand that comes with your handle.
your real name. Like, it connects, to who you really are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not the right age of a person to try to hide who I am on the internet. It's already fucking well too late.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got onto Twitter as under a pseudonym, and then after a little bit I was like, hey, you know what, I'd much rather just be like myself. Uh so like Duncan Wayne's. I mean, obviously, it's not my actual like first name last name, but it's my first name middle name. So it's like, so I
It's
mean,
a good idea.
I'm out there. I don't broadcast my last name, but like I'm not ashamed to come out and say like who I actually am. It's just it's how I prefer to be. It's how I prefer to be addressed. So it's like it works for me.
Yeah,
Also,
I
it
mean,
flows a little bit.
my middle name doesn't really work as well. It's kind of more of a first name.
Yeah.
Uh, who knows? I don't mind. I don't mind being double real named. The only
Yeah.
problem is my last name is spelled wrong. It's so fucking weird.
It's spelled wrong. Like,
Yeah, it's just Bear,
like
but the AE are backwards. So like it's a four-letter common word, but every time you tell somebody your last name, you gotta spell it, otherwise they spell it wrong.
I don't know. I've never met anyone with the last name Bear that was spelled Bear.
There's one on the
Like,
Edmonton Oilers, man.
is there?
Yeah, freaking spelled right and everything makes me annoyed.
Damn. Well, look at me eating crow already.
No, no, no. That's the Canada thing, man. You're
Yeah.
American. You don't have to know things about Canada. Same way if you ask me to name like one of those little states by like, the East Coast over there,
Yeah.
absolutely impossible.
Well, it's pretty wild. Like, it's pretty crazy seeing a bunch of, because like obviously on Twitter in this sphere, we run into quite a few Canadians, and it's like, and they know a ton about what's going on in America, like its political landscape, and so it's like it's interesting to see a bunch of people, from Canada talking about it, but like I know, roughly zero about what's happening in Canada. Like, one or two things, but I couldn't weigh in on like, oh, the fucking, I don't know what you guys have in your what are they, provinces? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know what the king of that province
We
does
got
or
two. We've
doesn't.
got provinces, and then way up north, they're territories, which is slightly
Oh,
different
okay.
for some reason.
So I don't even know what you guys, whatever the top level out there would be. Like, I know you guys got that one fucking wild card is PM, or is that what he is? Prime
Prime
Minister?
Minister, yeah.
That's right. Uh, but like, do you guys have governors or fucking archdukes or whatever the fuck you guys have in your whatever your province top
The
dog
old
is?
English state. Uh, no, man, we don't have dukes and lords, but we might as well.
They act like it. So
It's a crazy country for sure. But I don't know. We hear enough about America to not really feel so bad about how crazy it is here, right?
yeah.
It's
Well,
crazy
like your
everywhere.
guys' population density is a lot lower too. So I mean, when you guys are in obviously the Twitterverse, it's like, yeah, you're probably gonna run into a shitload of Americans. So like you're probably gonna be steeped in American politics and American just uh, culture a lot more than like you probably wouldn't be able to get a really good picture of Canadian culture besides the pop culture stuff, just like saying sorry a lot and fucking a and all that other bullshit.
Sorry about that, eh?
Yeah, like or like the boot thing. And it's like, I mean, I don't think anyone really thinks that that's real. I know I
It
saw
is real,
you.
man. It's just not all of Canada. There's a
Yeah,
part of Canada where they talk funny and they say a boot and they say car and they talk real
care.
funny.
And I mean, hey, we've got that too. Like if you talk to some Midwesterners, uh, they'll say some wild stuff too. Like I know a lot of people say car or cur, like just shortening stuff down or calling it wooder,
Yeah,
wooder.
and then you get like that New York accent. Like everybody
Yep.
has an accent on the East Coast.
Yeah,
Newfies are particularly strange though.
yeah. Isn't that's where Trailer Park Boys is, right? Is
They're in like Nova
supposedly.
Scotia, which is similar.
Oh,
It's like just little island like south of there. They're all a bit hardcore. I don't know. You're just South Alberta, right?
yeah,
So I mean, we're not even really that far apart geographically. Like you're
yeah.
living
It,
closer to
if you look
me than
if you
like
looked at the state, but I'm on the south side of the state, so like so it wouldn't be like you just crossing into America and you'd run into where I'm living at.
yeah,
I'm
no.
I'm all the way down at the bottom, so like I'm a little bit far. It takes like 5-6 hours to get up to the northern part of Idaho.
Yeah, but it takes like 3 days to get to Ontario, you
Yeah.
know? And we're still Canadian.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty whack how a state is kind of split up, state lowercase s, but it's like, if you drove 3 hours here, you'd end up in a different state, capital S. Uh, but like if you drove 3 hours in like Europe, you'd end up in a different country, and then you've got a whole. Oh, sorry, one second. But you've got a whole, different culture that comes with living in an entire different country. So like, you'll change languages like 4 times if you drive, 3 hours in Europe, whereas you're gonna end up, still running into English speakers if you drove 3 hours here, just like with a different accent. So it's pretty sweet. Like it's pretty cool how you can get so much diversity just within a couple of hours of you, but people still seek to like rule them all as the same. Everyone's the exact same kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, Europe is crazy to think about.
Mm-hmm.
It is nothing like here.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The fucking Canada's hard to describe. I don't even know what I would say. Like we kind of all absorb America, right?
Yeah.
Because like you grow up as a kid and you're on like Xbox Live,
Sure.
you are 100% with people from America.
Oh yeah.
That's just the statistics because we have like, the population of one of your states.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it would be insane if we didn't like become immersed.
Yeah. Yeah. That population density and just like the amount of the amount of people who are gonna be on Xbox Live or on Steam and stuff like that. Like you're probably gonna end up just running into a whole lot of Americans when you do that kind of thing, especially if you're in that time zone. If
Well,
you're
and
in a
then
different
everything
time.
else, right?
Yeah.
It just keeps Americans on Twitter, Americans on Facebook, Americans in all the groups. It's like
Yeah.
that's where everybody is.
Oh yeah.
That's I don't know. I'm pretty happy to be from the north where there's not as many people, but
Sure.
it comes with that downside that you already talked about, the
Yeah.
crazy PM wild card.
Yeah. The old king up there.
Well, fuck, man. There's a thing around here in Alberta where people put like 2-foot writing on the back of their truck window that just says "fuck Trudeau" with like a big middle
Yeah.
finger in the middle.
He's not super popular out your guys' way.
No, never was. That was like the first day. That was when he was running. Like,
What's
we
the what's like the half life of the prime minister position? Is it like 2 4 year stints, or is it just
yes,
he'll stay in power for however long? It's just 2 4 year stints.
and he's on his second one.
Oh, okay.
So, but I don't know. That's politics. Uh, I feel bad because the last election up here, I was like, there was this new politician that like left the Conservative Party because they rigged it against him, and he lost 49-51, and like he was just for ending a lot of these monopolies and shit, and then lo and behold, the union for one of them got him outvoted. And so he started
Shocking.
like this thing, and I voted for it because I got like fooled. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that.
And then the results come out, and Trudeau wins anyway, and he got like 1% of the vote just because of the way it works, and like people got completely like tricked against him. Like he had a bunch of bad propaganda come out, and then everybody was like, "Oh fuck this guy." You
Yeah,
know,
sure.
they started believing he was like all the bad things people are saying. But again, it's like politics, so why why would I have thought it would work?
Yeah, yeah. That's it. It just kind of takes time too. Like it takes time to, you know, become more and more just anarchist in your thinking. Like if that's the path you end up going down, and obviously if you end up going down the path of the statist, then you're gonna continue to be just inundated with like, oh yeah, no, these are our saviors. Like we have to vote for them because who else is gonna save us? Instead of realizing that, oh, this guy didn't save me. They said he was going to, but he didn't. And then you kind of end up going on this whole journey of like, oh, well, if he was supposed to be the chosen one who was gonna bring us all to salvation, and he ends up being a failure, you can kind of make two choices there. You can be like, well, we just have to vote the right person in, or you can be like, well, maybe this isn't the right way to be doing this. Maybe there is not a single savior for all of us. Maybe I don't need to be ruled. Maybe I don't need to be saved, kind of thing. Maybe I can do this all for myself.
Well, that's why we have this agorism thing, right? That's
Yeah,
like that's the way to defeat this shit that does not work anyway.
absolutely. I know a lot of people draw a whole lot of lines in between the two, in between anarchy and in between anarchism, or anarchy and agorism rather. And I don't know. I think that the path to liberty lies with both of them, and both actively you know working against the state in whatever way you see fit. If you want to do it politically, like, go ahead. I know a lot of people joined like the Libertarian Party recently. A lot of anarchists did, and I know a lot of them are like, fuck this. Like, I'm gonna print guns and grow vegetables, kind of thing. Like, but you can do both. Like, you could participate in both of those ways of thinking at the same time, kind of thing. Like, maybe trying to lessen the evil that gets placed upon you. That's not my way of thinking. I am genuinely against the state, and I don't think that it can be used for good. I think that it is inherently a tool of evil. So that's not my path. But I mean, hey, I can't tell everyone how to live their life. That's kind of against the whole premise of anarchism. Is like, I'm not going to rule you. I'm not going to tell you how you should live your life. Like, do what you want to do, man.
It's that's something I completely agree with, man. I don't know if you could even put agorism somewhere other than anarchy. It's just kind of like a flavor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's just like how you go about it. I think, like, obviously, I'm not a philosopher. I'm not Konkin. I'm not Rothbard. So, like, I'm not the quintessential definition of one or the other. But I don't see anarchy or anarchism and agorism is two separate things. I think that if you are an anarchist and you go about, a way of living your life, like trying to starve the state as much as you possibly can by doing things on your own, yeah, just by living your own life, living in the black and gray markets, like that would be agorism. But there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to classify yourself as both.
That's well said. That's kind of what I was thinking. It's just kind of like a tool of anarchy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just one of the ways that you can go about your day and completely not use the government.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Or
it's that self-sufficiency thing, or not even self-sufficiency, but just not reliance on a state, like
it's even
relying
better if
on.
you can somehow waste the state into the black market.
Exactly. And I love that there's the ability that like you have you have markets completely dominated by the state, and then all of a sudden you've got these black and gray markets that come in and they start whittling away at people's beliefs in them, like the post office. You know what I mean? Like the post office has been around since fucking states existed, so it's like, well, they have this giant monopoly on just the transportation of information or of goods. And it's like, yeah, but what if we came in and privatized some stuff? And that's how you got like UPS, and that's how you got FedEx, kind of a thing. And look at them, like they are much more efficient and much quicker. Like it is genuinely, if it makes people realize that, damn, like the state is really inefficient. Like I was I was I was walking around one day and I saw like a UPS mailbox completely rusted through on the bottom, and like the next day it had fallen over in the wind, and I'm just like, and it sat there on its side for fucking weeks, just like weeks sitting there just broken on its side, and it's like, UPS and FedEx, they're not gonna do that. Like they're not gonna like leave their they're not gonna leave one of their one of their goods sitting on the side, like sitting there looking like shit, where like it's got their name emblazoned on the side of it. Like no, they have so much stake in having what they look like. Like their whole advertisement is like, yeah, we're gonna take care of your stuff, and to show you that we're gonna take care of your stuff, we're gonna take care of our stuff as well. Obviously, like they aren't exactly a bunch of anarchists running fucking FedEx, but the idea still remains the same, that like we can seek out ways around the state, seek out alternatives to state-run monopolies, and I love it. I love that companies are coming out and doing that, like SpaceX,
Yeah.
under Elon Musk, and it's like, you know, for the longest time, it's nationalized space travel. Then all of a sudden, someone's like, "Yo, I can fucking do this," and they start privately doing it.
And they do it
And
1,000 times better.
yeah, like actually sending up multiple, like doing multiple things at the same time. They're like,
You
"All right,
land
cool, we did."
boosters on their ends, like fuck.
Yeah,
And the way
yeah,
that works is amazing. That engine fires like just at the end, like all of a sudden it's
yep.
going down slowly.
That shit's cool as fuck. And like,
Fucking
you
is
know,
cool.
the SpaceX program is developing by the day. Like day to day, they're making changes, and like, you know, the one rocket they sent up yesterday isn't going to be the same one that they send up today. Like today's one is going to be, at least moderately better, like some kind of improvement made. Whereas they're still sending up the same shit that they were, if you believe in such things, allegedly sending up in like the 60s. So it's like,
Yeah. If you believe in the moon landing and all,
yeah, if
which I
you
do,
partake,
just to put that out there. I
you're a
mean,
moon believer.
I'm a filthy round earth moon believer.
So you're not a real anarchist then, because only a real anarchist would be able to say that the moon's not even real. we're living on line Earth or dome Earth.
Yeah, we're living on. I fucking honestly got into a actual argument about flat Earth in real life, man, face to face, talking to somebody, and I were talking about flat Earth, and they were like, "Yeah, it's just nice. We're all going around a flat Earth, and everybody's lying to you." And I was just blown away that they actually bought all of this shit they've been reading. So how do you explain the sun rising and setting, and like when people go that way, it gets a different time, and like what the
Yeah,
fuck are you doing?
yeah. People are wild. Like that belief system also comes with the implication that the state is a wildly efficient tool as well. That its propaganda is so effective that it could last for the entirety of mankind. Like the idea that oh, the governments of the world are working against you so that so that you believe that the Earth is round. It's like I don't know. That's a whole lot of coordination, and I've worked with the state and for the state before, and I'm like, it seems like a real long shot, man, that they're that well coordinated.
Such a long shot. It's like,
I guess it's possible, but like I don't know, it's probably unlikely. Like at some point, someone would have definitely come out and be like, "Yo, this shit's not real, dude.
yeah.
Like the moon's not real. It's just a styrofoam ball they have glued to the fucking dome." Like,
Some guy over there pulling on a fishing reel.
yeah, just like like oh boy, oh it's 6 a.m. Time for the sunrise. Like,
Like that Jim Carrey movie, man, where he finds the wall and like leaves at the end.
yeah, the Truman Show.
Yeah, that was a goddamn trippy show.
It was. It is a trip, but it's like I don't know, man. I don't know if I can believe in that. I don't know if I can suspend the things that I have seen enough to be like to just believe that it's not real. And like maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I've been wrong before, but like I don't know. I am definitely not in the flat Earth moon doesn't exist like sphere. I do have my doubts that a mission was conducted that landed people on the moon, but then again, I could be wrong about that too. It could have been real. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, I mean, space age shit is that's one of my favorite topics. I don't know. I've been playing that video game Kerbal for far too
Yeah,
long not to be like obsessed with SpaceX and all that shit because it's amazing. Have you heard about those new satellites they're putting out for internet across like the whole world?
nah. What's
I've
that
been
about?
reading about them. They're gonna be pretty crazy when that works. But
Yeah, that'd be really cool to like create a mesh of just interconnected computers, and it's just like I think that's the way things are gonna end up shaking out. Is just like all the things that we kind of pay for today are just gonna be sort of things that we can kind of all rely on a lot. Like I do believe that at one point like paying for internet will seem so antiquated that people are just going to be like, no, why would that's absurd. Like why would I pay someone to go grab my bucket of water? You know what I mean? Like
yeah, it'll just
I
exist
think
like air.
yeah, exactly. Like I'm not I think that that's the way that things are going to end up shaking out. That just like yeah, stuff that we have right now that maybe we have to pay for like eventually could possibly just be sort of integrated into our everyday lives. I think that that's really cool. I think that that's where the market is sort of heading. Open source internet kind of a thing, just like yeah, we can do that. There's no reason that we have to like charge people for it, kind of a thing. I'm very excited for the future that the market will provide, so long as it's not hampered by the fucking state.
Well, as long as it's not totally hampered, it will always be slightly hampered, but it might get.
Yeah, maybe not always. I don't know. There is a future, man, where the state doesn't exist somewhere in that alternate timeline where
Well, I
people thought
mean,
self-reliance over
it can exist in this timeline if you just use the black and the gray market, like you were saying, like
yeah,
the
starve the state so much that all of a sudden people are like, oh, you know what? we really don't fucking need that. I don't need to use the post office. I don't need to fill out 900 forms to go get a gun. I can make my own, or I'll go to the guy next door and he'll make it for me. Or like, and I'll fucking, I don't know, pay him a couple satoshis or whatever. When fucking Bitcoin is the currency of the future.
Fucking Bitcoin is finally going back up. It was
Yeah,
quite a drop. It was crazy to look at. It was just like, oof.
a
One
lot
day.
of people. Yeah, a lot of people doing a whole lot of panicking during that time, man, and like somebody sold coins for like 4K a piece, you know, instead of if you know, instead of being where they're at right now. Or like if you had held on for a couple of days and all of a sudden you're looking at like, oh, my portfolio looks sick as fuck. Like that was a temporary thing. And unlike, you know, the stock markets, like unlike that whole thing where it's being propped up just arbitrarily by constantly pushing money into it from, you know, from state actors. And it's like, you know, Bitcoin actually ended up coming back on its own, like without people having to forcibly be like, oh no, this is crashing, we need to do something about it.
I was talking to Alex Utopium about Bitcoin, and he really he surprised me because he explained to me how that somebody could actually crash out Bitcoin, you know, like manipulate the value of it. But
Mm-hmm.
uh, I'm not sure that I understood well enough to explain it to you right now. But he,
Yeah, I'm not a I don't know a whole lot about the crypto sphere, and I know there's a ton of people just even on Twitter that are like that will beat that horse dead and then some. Like Rollo McFlugel uh, on Twitter, he's a fucking Bitcoin mastermind. Or you've got like um, Sal the Agorist too. Like they're crypto fucking geniuses, and that's just not my that's not exactly my sphere. Like it doesn't interest me nearly as much as like some other stuff that I've got going on. Like I much prefer sort of like the self-reliancy on being able to build your own stuff and like do your own thing rather than currency. But like, you know, that's okay. Like that's why markets exist, man, because not everyone is king of everything, you know?
100%. It's like Shuja says, peasant 2.0. We're all gonna go back to living life where you're self-reliant, but you're all connected in ways that didn't exist before.
Yeah. I think that that's really cool. Being able to be self-reliant, or also just being able to like rely on community over like just being able to rely on, you know, your friends, your family, your neighbors, you know, your city. Like cool, maybe I don't have the land to be able to grow something, but a fucking farmer out here sure does. And like he has the know-how to be able to grow a ton of crops. I don't have that. I don't have that knowledge. I could get it, but you know, that's not what I'm it's not my interest. Like that's not where I want to it's not where I want to put all of my economic in like, you know, influence.
Right, right. I mean, I couldn't say the same because that is what I want to do, but uh,
Sure.
but I totally understand. Um, yeah, I mean, there's a reason this is an agriculture and agorism podcast, not like a Bitcoin and being a, you know,
Not Bitcoin and guns.
yeah, exactly. Gotta stick to what I know. And so
Exactly.
talk to people
What
about
you know, what you're interested in, like what you're willing to, you know, pour days and days of your life just like learning new shit, just, you know, that eternal thirst for knowledge kind of thing. Like someone's interested in growing corn, someone's interested in fucking raising chickens. It's not me, but I'll go buy your fucking chickens. Maybe I'll give you something in return for it. Maybe I'll teach you something about, you know, something that I know instead of me having to go out and, you know, be able to plow my own land and be able to fucking, you know, like being able to purify my own water. Like if someone is into it, why not give them my, you know, my economic resources to be able to have them do it for me. outsource it so that I don't have to spend my whole life where not like my whole life revolves around, pulling up fucking buckets from a well.
Well, I mean, hopefully we don't have to go back to pulling up buckets out of a well. That's kind of a
That's Yeah, that's true. I truly hope that the what is it, anarcho primitivism.
yeah,
I
and
hope that
brims.
yeah, I hope that doesn't come to fruition because technology is a hell of a drug, and I am very much a fan of it. I don't want to lose my 3D printer, and I do not want to lose my internet. So like,
Although it's an interesting time to be around an Ann Prim because they're just smug. You know what I mean? Like everybody in the COVID thing is suddenly going to the person they used to think was a crazy survivalist Ann Prim and thinking, "Hey, you're much more helpful. Can we,
yeah. Well, yeah, in times like this too, like all of the anarchists are very much kind of like looking around at people like, yeah, see, I was fucking right. Like
yeah,
your whole belief system is being shaken right now by, factors that you couldn't even have fathomed. And it's like we've been telling you this for years. Like, and that's pretty much anarchists across the board too. Just like, yeah, turns out when you rely on the fucking state for all your information, like you're probably not going to get very good information. Or when you rely on the state to, take care of you, guess what? They're not always going to be there. Like, it's a really cool time to be in this sphere because it's like, yeah, not only just coming off smug, but also being able to offer that advice. So like where you're not looking like an absolute dick,
yeah,
because I do see a couple of guys out there that are just like, see, told you so, and then that's it. That's the end of the conversation. Whereas other people are out there like, yeah, I was right. And also, this is how you can help yourself kind of become a little bit less reliant on these systems that are failing around you. It's
completely
super.
failing. As it's
Oh yeah,
failing in a way that it looks like they weren't there. They're
yeah.
just like,
Failing on an absolute global scale, man. Just like whole fucking countries are absolutely losing it right now because their whole belief structure is being shaken. Like Italy is falling apart. China, I mean, who the fuck knows what's actually happening in China, right? But
not a clue.
but I mean, they are not in a very good place, and it's like, and what, North Korea too, like under this whole iron veil of just not being able to even be able to see out, but you're seeing the things that you can't, like seeing the things around you all just fall apart, and it's like maybe there's an alternative, maybe there's something else. Like the answer is obviously not these guys.
Yeah, but just watch. They're gonna somehow become a bigger part of your life out of this.
Yeah, that is. There is a fork in this road that's coming up real soon where it's like, well, you're either going to put all of your eggs in the state basket, or you're going to realize that the state is an unhelpful and, in fact, it's a system that's going to try and kill you rather than help you.
It's a good time to start growing your own food and printing your
Yep.
own coins, like you were saying.
Yeah, and it's a good time to also be seeking out others that need your help, that maybe you have that information that they don't have, or like you can help them, or like you have the goods that they can't themselves produce. It's like, don't worry, man, I've got you. Like, I can help you out. That's where I think that the mutual aid is going to be coming in real clutch right now, because that's kind of the optics that I think anarchists need right now, is this whole idea that we need to help each other out. Otherwise, those people that you don't help out, those people that you kind of look at and you're like, dirty fucking statist, like those people, they're going to they're going to go back to the government. Now they're going to grow even stronger, kind of a thing.
Yeah,
So I think it's super important, just from an optics standpoint, to just kind of do your best to, instead of standing there smugly, to be there trying to help, to assist other people.
I mean, you're not wrong at all. Obviously, being smug is never a real wise thing to do. But it's pretty
Mhm.
hard not to be that person saying "I told you so."
Yeah, but you
Because like,
definitely got to follow that up with
and
like, and I can help. Like you were wrong, I was right, and here is how I was right, and here's how I can help you out. Obviously, not everything in this world can be free. Like, because if I'm expelling my human resources of time and my effort, like I'm obviously going to expect something in return. But it doesn't have to be like holding someone at gunpoint. That's what the state does. It's not what anarchists and agorists do. We don't hold anyone at gunpoint. We're like, yeah, we can help.
it's a crazy thing that free or zero gov, not free zero gov came after. Uh, Zero gov got banned for talking about this virus, and then you know now the virus is all anybody is talking about, and
Is that
someone
is that hedge zero?
yeah, or free zero. I don't know. It was like this big Twitter account that was talking about how the coronavirus came from like potentially a lab, and they were talking about all like the conspiracies about it, and they got
Or
banned.
zero hedge?
Yeah.
I think that's the group. Yeah,
Um, they got banned over it, and then like a couple weeks later, as it all got crazier, it was like on CNN or something.
yeah. And you can look out and be like, see, you fucking idiots. Like this is what's really happening. Like your your belief systems are failing you right now.
They're
And the
deliberately.
alternative is not to go deeper into that whole reliance thing. It's to become less reliant on a centralized power and more reliant on decentralized power.
Yeah, or multiple decentralized powers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's and now it looks like we're entering like the Great Depression. So you get that also, where it's like you should be preparing to grow your own food and all that. So
Yeah,
it's hard not to be smug this week. That's for sure.
it is. Yeah, this whole like this I mean year 2020, man, has been nothing but like I told you so's,
Yeah,
like that SpongeBob meme where he's showing Patrick all the trash. It's like, see, look at this trash and this trash. Oh, look at that, and there's just a giant pile. Like, yeah, like we were right about so many things. Like maybe you should listen to other people a little bit more than your fucking very zoomed in versions of like news broadcasting. Like who the fuck trusts Fox News or CNN? You know what I mean? Like who trusts them? Who's like looking to them and being like, oh yeah, nope, that's got to be the truth. Like there's got to be so few people at this point that are trusting their media overlords.
I haven't seen cable news in so long. And besides, the cable news up here is mostly CBC, which is like almost completely owned by one of the political parties. The other one doesn't want to pay them their bills. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like listening to our media is a completely different thing. It's like you sign up to be bombarded by you know a certain degree.
fucking fascinating, man.
Yeah.
State-run media, dude. Even if it's not, the actual state. It's like your state actors all looking out for themselves,
100%.
for their little brand. They're like, no, 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 you've got to see. Look at all these people dying. You need socialized healthcare, and we need to expand it even further. Or like, see, this is why we can't have private businesses doing things. If the state had run it, like we would have had so much of a better outcome. It's like, oh, probably fucking not. Like,
Dude, you just reminded me that probably the most famous worldwide and successful Canadian export has been Trailer Park Boys, and that wasn't a CBC show. That was like that show was produced on like the channel that like 11-year-old dudes go to because it shows like the titty movies. It's like the real like that's where Trailer Park Boys came from in Canada. So like the freest agorism market you could look about.
And that's the most popular export. And it's like, and that's awesome. That's a great thing that it was able to get so much just traction with certain markets that it was just like it exploded. And almost everyone knows about the Trailer Park Boys. And then there's that new show. Fuck, what is it? All those Canadian dudes. It's like the four
Letter
Canadian dudes.
Kenny.
Yeah, Letterkenny.
Yeah.
Like, and those are two huge things that people know, that come from Canada, and it's like that's awesome that it starts out as just these small groups of people trying to doing what they love, and like it ends up blowing up.
Yeah, Letterkenny's funny. I like Letterkenny a lot because it's like it talks directly about the part of Canada that's like not in any of the other media. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
that west of Ontario, like agriculture people. Hicks, I guess you would say.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I love that show.
and it's super cool, like showing the cultural differences between the guys out in fucking in Nova Scotia versus the guys out to the west. And it's like it does show some cultural differences that like, oh, maybe Canada is not just like the South Park rendition of Canada, the fucking talking heads that just move side to side kind of thing. Like, it shows a little bit of difference in that group of people, that it's not all just snorting maple syrup and fucking loving hockey. Although they do fucking love hockey.
Yeah, I am super fucking frustrated that there's no Stanley Cup right now. I'm not gonna lie, because it looks like goddamn Edmonton, Calgary, Winnipeg, and Vancouver were all tracking to be pretty decent odds in the Stanley Cup this year. So it would have been a mostly Canadian thing, and like we go fucking insane when it's the playoffs.
Yeah, fucking yeah. One of the big. It's like the meme that's like uh, Ireland shuts down pubs for like to kind of quell the coronavirus, and like a couple of days later, it's like everyone has been tested in fucking Ireland, like that kind of shit. Where it's like they shut down fucking hockey in Canada, and all of a sudden they're figuring shit out up there. It's like one of the leading labs in figuring out the what anti or the
Like
what
the
is it, the
medicine for
vaccine.
it.
Yeah, the finding the cure for the coronavirus, and like the main group of people doing that are the Canadians. That's like,
Well, we lost hockey, man. What else are we gonna do?
yeah. Like, we got to figure this shit out because I need to know. I need to know how my leaves do,
Ah, fuck. The leaves.
or the others. I don't follow hockey at all, so like hockey is not in my it's not exactly in my toolbox.
Oh, fair enough. The Leafs are definitely one of those teams where some people just love the Leafs, like everywhere across the country. It's
Yeah,
you like you could either be like Habs fan or a Leafs fan. It's like Montreal and Toronto.
sure.
But I don't know. I'm from the West. I like Vancouver. That's my team. I grew up on
Yeah.
Vancouver Island right next to Vancouver, so I was like actually around like orca whales and all that. So like
Mhm.
as a kid, I identified with fucking Vancouver Canucks because it's a killer whale, and that was awesome, right? That's just those are very easy things to tie together.
Right.
So I've just been a Canucks fan forever. But now that I live between Edmonton and Calgary, it's like I got three hockey teams around me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I should even pick, but obviously it's the Canucks. I like the Canucks.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
you can't
And
change.
like you could watch hockey too, I'm sure, and just be like, this is fucking awesome. Like regardless of the team that's playing, kind of a thing, where you're just like, I'm just having a good fucking time. Like,
100%. Unless it's
for
Las
sure.
Vegas, because Las Vegas is just like that's how they bought a team.
Is that's the Kings, right?
No, that's Los Angeles.
Oh.
Las Vegas is like this new one, the Golden Knights.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, you don't like hockey. What's your thing?
I'm not really. I do enjoy guns.
That is
Uh,
the national sport of America.
That's what they say. I don't know. People will also say that it's definitely football. Some people fucking lose their goddamn minds on football, man. They love it, and more on it, like more more power to them. I enjoy watching a game or two, and I'll watch some hockey. It's not like I'm vehemently against it, but it's just like it's just not my bag. I like I like guns. I like shooting. I like BMX. Extreme sports are my thing also. So like snowboarding and just that's more my thing. So you're less rooting for certain teams and you're more like looking at specific athletes sort of a way, or
Yeah,
like looking at specific shooters. Not in the I don't really do the competitive scene, but like just different companies kind of putting out gear, and you're like, yeah, that's fucking sweet. I like that.
yeah. I stopped playing hockey when I was like 15 and went straight into like skateboarding and snowboarding and all that shit. Just because people get big, you don't, and then they kill you in the warts.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense to me, man. It's real hard. It's real hard going against some 6'4" guy that's fucking 300 pounds when
Yep.
when you are not either of those things. Like,
Especially when he's 19
yeah,
and you're a foot shorter, 70
yeah,
pounds lighter.
like, real hard to try and check someone that way. Like,
Good luck.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I gave up right when I turned 16 and it started. Well, but and also it's like at that point you have to really fucking take it seriously, like you have to like literally intend to become somebody that goes to the NHL.
right.
That was never a thing. It was just like a fun game.
Yeah,
So I don't
and
know.
I don't know if you fuck around and play at all, like locally or whatever. I imagine.
I never did before I broke my feet, and now I like kind of wish I had.
Yeah.
Just
Can
like
you get back into that? Like, would that be something that you could like get back into, or you just kind of fucked on that whole front?
100% fucked on that whole front.
Damn.
But that's fine. You know, I'm
Yeah,
building
you found. I mean, yeah,
and
you found your calling elsewhere, man.
yeah, I adapted. I mean, I was in a wheelchair for so fucking long that I had like time to actively think about how I was about to adapt to it. You know what I mean? So like I had to
Yeah,
plan it out.
yeah.
It kind of worked.
You can't join a wheelchair hockey league. Do they not have that? Is that another thing?
Oh fuck, they might. I
That
don't know.
sounds
Not the
that
same.
sounds lit.
Totally different thing.
Right.
I tried to skate, man. I put the skates on. I went up for a skate. It's that's rough. That's I mean, it's doable, but it's doable at such like a less level that it's just not any fun. It's like
Yeah.
you're just
Yeah. You're just
work.
so handicapped in that whole field where it's just like I don't know. Like yeah, I can maybe skate, but I can't skate for a couple hours. I can't skate, you know, better than most of the guys out on the ice right now. So it's like I'm not I'm not gonna put myself through hours of pain to get subpar results kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like comparing yourself to how you were before. That's the fucked thing about being like a young person that's like handicapped in a way that people can't
Yeah,
see visibly. Uh, is that like you're not handicapped compared to most people. You're just handicapped compared to how you were before you fucking fell off a roof or did whatever the fuck it did.
yeah,
And that's like a really trippy dynamic that is completely unpredictable. They don't. This is
right.
little shit that you figure out after the fact, right?
Yeah, it's gotta be pretty rough. Just like you're just not nearly as good as you once were, and like you kind of saw yourself going to be at a certain level, and just you got completely fucked up to where like you'll never even get close to that level that you ever had expectations for yourself to get to.
Yeah, yeah, kind of exactly like that. but then again, that's why you should be careful when you're on a roof.
That's sage advice, my friend.
It's we're discussing like things that are just obvious, you know. If you make a terrible life-altering mistake, you pay terrible life-altering consequences.
Yep. Yeah, and there are things that you can do to kind of, assuage those things that happen to you, but you know, you're probably never going to be nearly to the level that you were. So you got to be careful, or you got to be, kind of prepared for the consequences of if you're not. And if you're not prepared for those consequences, then you got to adapt to your new circumstances, kind of a thing.
Yeah. Well, you know, mistakes happen. People
Yeah,
people all over the place every day doing dumb shit.
yeah. But look at you now. I mean, you think you'd be in the anarchist, sphere if you were still out there fucking checking some newfie on the ice, or you
Dude,
know,
you're
you'd
100%
probably
right.
be a whole different person.
I would have been on some job site cutting bricks, ignoring the world with newfies that came over for the oil fields and got laid off. I don't actually know what I'd be doing right now in COVID because everything's all shut down. But
Hmm.
I assume I'd be someplace else than in the anarchist sphere. That's completely true, man.
Yeah,
And
and maybe you'd even be like scrambling to try and figure out like what you're gonna fucking do for the next, what you're gonna do for your next meal, instead of being able to, like, you're building the fucking chicken coop right now because you have that know-how. Like, you've been steeped in this whole culture of like figuring shit out for so long that it's like, you know what, I can just take care of myself, kind of a thing. So yeah, like, certain things happen, but how you adapt to your circumstances is what really kind of makes you who you are.
I contracted out for that chicken coop, man. That's my aunt and my mom are building a chicken coop and they needed somebody to build it and they wanted me to do it, so I kind of set it all up. I should start a business, but I don't know how.
I feel that. I 100% with you on that. Like, how the fuck do I even get started on that?
And
And
what
I'm sure that
for?
there's a ton of resources too that you can like kind of reach out and try and tap as much knowledge. But it's not easy. Like, a lot of fucking fledgling businesses go under within their first year just because they're mismanaged, or
Yeah,
like, you just don't have that knowledge base. So it takes a lot of preparation, but at some point you got to be like, okay, cool, preparation's over. Like, it's time to get this thing done.
yeah. So much thinking, so little doing.
Yeah, and it's hard, especially because when you do something like that, when you start a business, or like when you go out and try and do something on your own, like, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that, and like all that responsibility ends up coming back on you. It's like, are you ready for the consequences of being fucking flat broke for for however long it takes you to recuperate? Or like, are you going to continue to sort of play it safe, like where you're at, where you feel comfortable? And some people can do it. Some people start their own shit, but like, it's like you. I mean, you started your own podcast. Like, you're out there shaking the tree of liberty, just trying to figure out your place in the world. And like, you got off your ass and did it. Like, that's good on you. A lot of guys, start a podcast. I think like podcasts, if you make it to like your 20th episode or something, it's like, that's how like you've become, like, you have sort of made it. Like, that's the tipping point for a lot of podcasts. It's like 20 episodes, so you're getting there.
That's the
And
next
you
one.
seem, yeah, exactly. Like, you're going strong, so like, you'll be at that tipping point where, like, yeah, maybe you can make this into a full-fledged fucking thing. just talking to just talking to cool people, letting, kind of helping to get information out about alternatives that people had no idea about. Super cool. And like, even in your whole like brand of podcast too, like, it's not super saturated,
I
like,
mean, I thought
you
I thought I should just do it. Fuck it. I've been talking to a friend of mine on Facebook who's like this YouTuber called Curtis Stone. he does these YouTube things, and I was thinking, fuck it, there should be a podcast in this area, you know,
Hmm.
agriculture and like homesteading and like you know, self-reliance. And sorry, that's on a tangent to what I'm talking about right now, and I'll probably forget what the fuck I'm talking about right now. But like you were saying, um, that I was starting a podcast, but that's not like for money. I mean, for money,
Sure.
I have been trying to figure out some sort of like black and gray market solution to that. So like I've got my plants growing. You know that? Have you seen pictures of that?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hopefully get those getting little clone cuttings that I'll take and sell those at the farmers market. And,
Sure.
I mean, it's not going to be something that I could really do paperwork for as like a business, you know, because I won't know what I'll make until I do it. But
Right.
I don't really have very much else to do. So
Yeah. And I mean, and but that's also like in your wheelhouse of knowledge too, where like you've put so much effort into learning about this stuff that it's like, you know, if you don't use that knowledge, like you're always going to be kind of wondering, what if I had gone out and tried to make it on my own? What if I had, gone and tried to create my own way in this world? And it's super cool. Like it's very cool to see people doing that in all sorts of markets, and that's how fucking people become successful. Maybe it won't be successful, but like at least you won't have that question of like, you won't be looking back in 10 years and being like, damn, I should have done that. Because you're actually like getting out there and you're fucking doing it. So that's awesome. So even if it does fail, it's like, yeah, I mean, I did my best and fucking, you know, I'm much happier that I even gave it a try rather than just kind of waiting and waiting and waiting.
I'm stoked about this chicken coop. It should be finished by tomorrow, and then we'll go pick up the chickens. It's just on a farm like half hour out of town that have all these chickens. So they're gonna give us like a half a dozen that are laying eggs good. You know, they're not like little babies.
Hmm.
And then you know, poof, instantly there's a giant ass chicken coop full of chickens. It's like,
Yeah. Now you got more eggs than you know what to deal with, and now you're slinging dope and eggs at the farmers market.
oh,
Next up,
dude, it'd
there's
be
fucking
crazy if I could sell
microgreens.
weed plants at the farmers market. I don't think that will be gray market enough by next summer. You know what I mean? I think that's
Yeah.
probably gonna stick in the firm black.
Hey, and you know what? A lot of people make it in that market as well. Like the black market is not exactly sparse. Like there's people out there fucking doing the damn thing. That could be you. You know?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people I know from the black market, when they legalized marijuana up here, they started to do better because it turned all of the production gray market, and it basically put the government production in competition with the black market production, because for so long the black market production was hiding, and now as soon as
Right.
it's a legal thing, I mean, it's obviously illegal to do the black market because they've made it so that it's rigged for them, right? It's,
Right.
you can't produce and like sell or whatever, and you can't have more than four per house or all that, but
Sure.
it's
Or you
all
got to get a license to be able to go bigger than that kind of a thing. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, you got to fill out like medical production paperwork if you want like 90 plants in a field. But I mean, it's easy to do paperwork.
Yeah. That's true.
I don't know. I probably would never want to become like a medical producer. Just keep that as like a tiny little niche of like a bigger picture rather than turn that one into the bigger picture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to like take the thing that I enjoy and turn it into work. That would
Right.
that sounds like a bad plan, you know what I mean?
I don't know, man. A lot of people was that saying, yeah, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, kind of thing.
That's true. And I did used to love what I did for work, you know, carpentry
Yeah.
stuff. You're doing things where you like leave a result. That was always fun. So I guess
Yeah.
you're right.
Having your name on something is a hell of a point of pride. Yeah. maybe not your actual, maybe you don't have fucking Josh spray painted across a house that you built, but like, you know, people are living under that, and they're like, hell yeah, like we got a sick ass roof out of this, or like, we got a sweet ass chicken coop out of this, like, and people are gonna fucking remember that, and there's something like deeply just satisfactory about having your name attached to something that people appreciate.
Dude, I sign everything that I've ever built. I just put it on the inside of something that you'll never see until you're taking it apart.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure. I even used to sign the back of a couple bricks, just fucking putting it out there.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, I always like when I drive by like a McDonald's where I put the siding up, just like whatever. I always point it out and I'm like, yeah, I built that, man. It's like point of pride, 100%.
Yeah. Ooh, all right, my friend. I think I gotta get going in a little bit. Phone's about to die.
Oh,
Is there anything
we've been rambling for a while.
is there anything else you wanted to talk about real quick, or
Uh, I mean, what you got going on in like this spring? What's your plan for your
for,
COVID lockdown?
man, honestly, out here it's not really looking like a lockdown at all. It's pretty much everyday living right now. Like we aren't really getting hit by the whole lockdown thing very hard. Seems to be business as usual. So like so far so good. I don't know if I have any plans for change. I got my essential workers fucking paperwork in, so like I'm good for work for at least for a little bit. So like I'm just kind of chilling.
Your
Uh,
hall pass to go out?
yep, yeah, my little pass to get past the Berlin Wall kind of thing. Like,
Fuck.
so I got that going for me. I still got my job. A lot of people weren't so lucky in that regard, but it's like, so right now I'm chilling, fucking trying to do whatever I can to starve the state just a little bit.
That's awesome, man. That is the whole point of the podcast.
Absolutely.
Starving the state.
There it is.
Well, it's been a slice, Duncan. Good to have you on. We'll
Absolutely.
have to do this again soon.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'll let you get about your day.
All right.